Hey everybody, I'm John. I collect cards. It's Sunday, November 5th. I'm doing a VR here, a video response for Don't Talk to Robots on our top 5 favorite red cards for Red October. The deadline, I believe, is November 6th, so I'm getting this in just under the wire here. I'm going to flip the camera around and show you those 5 red cards. All right, I'm going to get right to it here. The first card of the 5 is coming from my 1954 top set, which is a kind of a go-to thing for me on any of my VRs or otherwise, just because it is a special one for me. It's 1954 Topps Phil Rizzuto, card number 17 in the set, SGC graded 5.5. I chose this card because, well, for one thing, it's a really nice example and of the Hall of Famer, and then secondly, this kind of represents my, in a way, my growing up with baseball in a way, where I listened and watched countless Yankee games on WPIX TV or listened to the radio on WABC for mostly, and before that it was 1010 Wins. So Phil Rizzuto was in the broadcast booth for many decades after his Hall of Fame playing career. Some might say still that it wasn't quite Hall of Fame worthy, but he did get in through the Veterans Committee. He did have some great seasons. He was definitely that spark plug for those 40s and 50s Yankees teams for quite a while, and he was an AL MVP in 1950. So for those reasons, I have this card in that 5-card mix, and it is. I mean, the red background on this is really nice. So there's number 1. See if I can get it out of the glare for a bit. I'm just going to kind of lay it down here. Next up, we're going to stay vintage, and it's actually a most recent purchase of mine that I got at one of my 2 LCSs here in town. It's not like the best example of this card, but it's one that's been on my list for a while. It's an all-time modern vintage classic. When I say modern vintage, I mean like more like 60s, 70s, and that's 1969 Topps Johnny Bench Rookie Trophy card. As you can see, it's very off-center left. But when I started looking around for recent comps and stuff, there are a lot of this. This is a common off-center. Whenever it's off-center, it tends to be way left. So this is definitely not against the norm in a lot of ways, because there are a lot of examples of this. But the actual image quality is pretty nice, aside from the off-center. Pretty nice crisp photo. Paper quality, or in terms of like any paper loss, doesn't really look evident there. It's in pretty nice shape overall. The other main issue, actually, probably even more than the centering, is it's got a pretty decent sized crimp that's got an edge issue. See if I can get it back in focus there with Phil in the background. But there, as you can sort of see on the top edge, it's got a really bad wrinkle there, crease, whatever you might want to call it. It is right along the edge. So it doesn't really extend into the card, so that's the main issue with it. Let's get Phil out of the way. Maybe the focus will be better. So when all said and done, when I do get this graded, and I certainly will get this graded, because this card, even in this condition, they go for a nice tidy sum, 50 and up easily. I paid 30 for this at my LCS, and tack on another 15 and some sales tax, I'll be in for about 48 or so. I think I got a pretty good deal on this, and I would hope this would grade at least a 3, and I think it would. I think it's got a better chance actually for a 4. I do think it has a shot for a 4. So somewhere in that ballpark, I think this is among my favorite red cards, at least of the moment. I should have qualified that at the start. These are my favorite 5 top favorite red cards now. Today, November of 2023. Things like that can always change. Although I would say that Phil would definitely be a permanent top 5, and then the last card I'll show will be in the top 5 as well, probably a permanent fixture. But the 69 bench is pretty nice, off-centered as it is, and with that little edge thing as it is, I think I got a nice deal on it, and I definitely look forward to seeing this slabbed in the months to come. Not sure when my next sub's going to be. I have a feeling it's not going to be until the start of next year. But now we're going to fast forward. We're going to zoom all the way into modern. I actually wanted to show some modern cards in this, and I have 2 examples. Both are autographs, actually, of favorite red cards of the moment. And the first one I'm going to show is actually another Cincinnati Red, and it's another catcher. It's a rookie autograph card. Whoops, I almost knocked my camera over. And I'm not retaking it, so we're just going to have to keep it. It is of Tyler Stevenson. I'm going to have to hold my tripod here for a bit because I really knocked it out of whack good here. I'll adjust it in a bit. Tyler Stevenson, this is from 2021, Topps Chrome Black. It's numbered 4 out of 5. And it's a red parallel, and so it's a color match, in a sense a team match too, given the parallel color. So I picked this card. I got this card in a break 2 years ago, and I'm throwing this card in the mix because Stevenson did not have a great year last year. He had a pretty average season last year. Definitely, I think his trajectory is still very good. Especially given the youth of that Reds team and the talent that's on it, lots of talent. If they continue their upward trajectory and he becomes a little bit more of a key cog on that team, which he kind of is already, if they do get to the postseason, he's maybe he starts to emerge as more of a leader of this team. Now, I'm not a Reds fan, but their cards like this are why I am so like when I got back into the hobby 3 years ago. In a sense, I also kind of got I was never out of touch with baseball, but I was not following it on an everyday basis because I was not even playing fantasy. I had been out of fantasy baseball for almost a decade, I'd say, as well. I just lost interest in it, and so getting back into the hobby, and I do collect some current stuff. I've definitely narrowed my interests in current stuff down to more of a handful of sets rather than a wide range as I was doing in 2021 when I was really dabbling in a little bit of everything, just to really see what I liked collecting again. But picking up autographs of players like this, a nice rookie auto, it kind of has kind of reattached me or reacquainted me with the game, with the sport, with MLB in an everyday kind of way that I guess fantasy baseball used to do and that I just wasn't interested in doing anymore. And, so if I have some nice cards of some current players and you like to follow along and see how they do. So I find some fun in that. And so, of course, I'm rooting for Tyler Stevenson in that regard because I've got this pretty okay card. And it's just kind of a neat card, too, just in general. So here's one card in the mix. And then let me adjust my camera for just a sec so I don't have to hold it anymore. Bear with me for a second here. And I just realized that I never did my channel shout out. Let me take a quick break before I show the last two cards. I have 3 channels actually under 500 subscribers that I wanted to highlight. That's also part of the what's needed for this video for Don't Talk to Robots. First channel I want to shout out is Vintage on Vintage. Steve's a great guy. We met at the National this past summer. Actually walked the aisles together for a good part of an afternoon there. We talked cards, kind of, talked, life away from cards a little bit too. It was, really it was my second day at the National at that point. And I think it was his first day there. It was just a great time. So definitely check out his channel, Vintage on Vintage. And then the other channels I wanted to share, Return to Collecting. I believe it's Adam's channel. And if that's not your name, I really apologize, but I think I have that right. But Return to Collecting is the channel. And every time I go to that channel to see what he shares, I'm always blown away. He has some amazing cards that he shows on his channel. And so whenever he posts something new, I'm really, I look forward to clicking and seeing what he's going to share. I mean, just most recently, he was at a Denver card show and shared an awesome Nolan Ryan autograph that had his 3 great inscriptions on there as well with no-hitters and Ks and Hall of Fame. And it was his second year rookie trophy card from '69. Actually, no, I guess he didn't have a trophy card. Can't remember if that's a trophy card or not. I don't think it is, but just an awesome card. Or is it 70 or 69? I can't remember what his second year card is, but it was a second year card. But it was just an awesome one, and he's just shared some really great cards in his video. So highly encourage you to check him out. It's Return to Collecting. And then the third channel, meanwhile, you know what? I'm talking about this with just nothing on camera here, which I feel I'm doing this video kind of quickly as I can without really much prep here because it's been a really busy weekend here at my house and I just haven't had a chance to do this video yet, and I'm finally getting it in now. The third channel is a brand new channel that just started last month. It's called Bubba Collects, and he only has a handful of subscribers currently, and he's put up about 5 or 6 videos. But I'd watched his first SGC sub video. Really good stuff. And, you know, you wouldn't think he just started his channel. Really nicely done. And, you know, I shouldn't be talking because I'm probably one of the biggest, like, over talkers of any of the, in the YouTube community. So it's like, basically, I mean, just from, like, watching a couple of videos, definitely things for me to keep in mind, at least for me to try to, for sure. And I get that from a lot of folks in our community as well, that I always want to try to do better myself. Like, I know I'm talking way too quickly on this video. I know I'm doing it, but I'm just continuing because I need to kind of work this in because I need to get back upstairs in my house for an event here. It starts in about 10 minutes. But definitely check out Bubba Collects. And I wish him well as he kind of, you know, joins us here in the YouTube community. Welcome. So those are 3 channels I encourage you to check out. And now we'll get back to the main part of this video, which is showing you 2 more cards for Don't Talk to Robots' 5 top red cards. Number 4 is also an autograph. It's modern. It's from this year. It's from Allen and Ginter. Yes, I actually enjoy still collecting Allen and Ginter. I got back into the hobby. The first hobby box I bought in 2020 when I got back in the hobby was an Allen and Ginter hobby box, and it turned out to be a hot box. It had a Jose Canseco autograph in it, and long story short, I was kind of on my way and sort of, you know, getting back into the hobby a little bit and having fun with it too, even though vintage really is my sweet spot. Ginter is just fun. It's silly a little bit, but it's kind of cool too. And so in one of the 2 hobby boxes I bought, and I don't rip too much on camera anymore because I don't think I rip very well on camera, frankly. I take too long and I enjoy ripping, and so I kind of try to draw it out on my own without rushing through a video. Occasionally I still might rip. But on one of these boxes I bought, I pulled this rip card of Yu Darvish, numbered to 99. You rip it, you keep it. If it's a rookie, you know, maybe you keep it and sell it. And so Yu Darvish, I thought about selling it, and I'm like looking to see what, you know, kind of like cards of his, you know, ilk were kind of selling for, and, you know, a veteran pitcher, it was 60. It was good. I could have maybe sold it for 60, maybe even less. Wasn't going to be going for much more than that, which, you know, it's not bad. Pays for half the box or more. But I was like, you know what? No, I'm just going to rip it. Let's just see what happens for that much. And so I did. Here's what came out of it. I got a Luis Robert red ink auto, number 10 out of 10, that hatched from this rip card. So that was pretty exciting, I guess you could say. And Luis Robert is actually I'd say he's one of my top 5 players, favorite players currently in the game. I think he's an exciting 5-tool player to watch. He finally had a full healthy season. He missed the last week or so because his knee kind of banged up his knee a little bit. But, you know, I think with, and I do really think this, I think with Ohtani, you know, even if he stays in the AL, he's only hitting next year. Probably won't be pitching. I think Luis Robert Jr. is a very strong contender for next year's AL MVP. I mean that in total seriousness, as crappy as the White Sox did this year. You know, they lost 100 games, but Luis Robert is for real. He's a really good player. He's fun to watch. He's a Silver Slugger finalist and a Gold Glove finalist this year. He'll probably win the Silver Slugger, I think. If I had to guess, I think he will take one of those 2. So that was an exciting autograph to pull. And then lastly, last card I'm going to show, going to go way back into vintage, going to go pre-war. I've shown this card once before, and actually I did a whole video just about this card, and which it was probably about 2 months ago, so you can find it fairly easily on my channel. Go if you went back a little bit. It's this Crackerjack 1915 William Killefer, graded SGC 7. This card is just, you know, pretty special. It's, I mean, it's just an amazing card with that red, and combined with the red on his Phillies uniform as well, with the cap and the letter on his uniform. It's just a special card. He was Grover Cleveland Alexander's catcher. Again, the text on the 1915 Cracker Jack cards are upside down versus the front orientation. So I kind of dive into why I picked up this card in that video, but you see the word Kalamazoo there on the fourth line. I live in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and so that was one reason I picked this card up. I thought it was, I'm not from Kalamazoo, I'm from New York, but I've been here for 12, 14 years now, roughly. My family, it's where my kids are, it's my kids' hometown, so this was kind of a cool card in that regard, and then just how, the condition it is, and it was just one of those opportunities that came up after the National. I bought this on eBay. That I just, I just needed to, I mentioned it at the end of this video where I highlight this card. There was a time where sometimes you need to act, and I did on this one. It wasn't planning on doing it by any means, but I felt like I needed to do it for this one. I wanted this, the Cracker Jack cards are particularly special, and I really enjoy having this in my collection. So that's the last card I'm going to show there, and I'll just leave it with him on there. Well, let's see if I can squeeze the others on here. But there's my 5 cards here for Don't Talk to Robots for my little video that turned out, of course, to be more than a little, 16 minutes. But for 5 cards, if you hopefully fast-forwarded a little bit throughout and got here, then I appreciate you watching. Again, thanks for the opportunity on this. I look forward to watching a couple more of these videos of others' favorite red cards here in the days ahead. And that'll do it. Have a great week, everyone. See you on the next video.